Hello and welcome everybody to Game 2 of Supernova vs. Violet from IEM Sao Paulo. This is going to be Game 2 of a best of 5 with Violet currently in the lead 1-0. In Game 1 we saw some very aggressive, slowly paced play from Violet where he was taking his bases really slowly, making sure to always have units so that he can stay alive, always playing super safe, getting out those early infestors, stopping push of Supernova before it could really get going, and was able to crush Supernova in Game 1 after doing some heavy economic damage with some burrowed infestors. Now here in Game 2, how is Supernova going to be able to handle this? Supernova has spawned in the bottom right position as the Red Terran of Antiga Shipyards, that is. Spawning in the top left position, his opponent and the winner of Game 1 as the Blue Zerg. Playing from Team Empire, we have Violet. Now it looks like Violet going to be doing a little bit of an extractor trick there. For those of you that don't know what the extractor trick is, that is where you create a extractor, make a drone, and then you cancel your extractor so that you then get to 11 out of 10 supply. It allows you to get just a smidgen of an advantage, although there is a lot of debate about it. A lot of players say that it really doesn't get you that much of an advantage. There have been quite a bit, there has been quite a bit of mathematical analysis on it, and the advantage you gain, if any at all, is very minimal. A lot of players would even argue that you actually lose resources just from the cancel. A lot of people think that just because you cancel that extractor, the resources you lost actually make up for any kind of gain you could get from getting to 11 out of 10 supply before that first Overlord pops. Now, there is a pretty early, or rather, I guess I should say, a normally timed barracks going down for Supernova, but in an unusual location here. Down here, Violet is not going to scout it right away. There we go. He does now scout it, but this could potentially trick Violet into thinking that there's some kind of a two racks play coming, because a lot of times Terrans will place one barracks at their base on the low ground and then also place another one in a forward position to really be able to deal a lot of good damage, hide those racks so it looks kind of normal when it's really not all that normal. It's actually going to be some kind of a two racks play, but no, Supernova actually just throwing down that one barracks up there, following it up with the command center. Violet did open hatchery first here on Antiga Shipyards. Very safe move, very good to do on cross positions Antiga Shipyards, and it looks like Violet actually going to be going for a little bit of a gas steal here on Supernova's second gas extractor. This isn't going to affect Supernova too much, as I think that Supernova really isn't trying to go for any kind of fast gas play. What Violet is doing here is he is ensuring that his opponent is not going to be doing any kind of tech play. No super fast banshees, nothing like that. He's not going to be able to tech too fast, but he doesn't know that there's actually an expansion going down here for Supernova, so he's just trying to guarantee that, and he doesn't actually know that Supernova actually doesn't really want to even take that second gas geyser. The first gas geyser has now been taken, but this second looks like he's actually taking a second gas geyser here at his natural expansion. So Violet might actually be losing a little bit of resources here. Now I actually really like this move here from Violet. Notice he's been denying this gas for so long, but once that drone dies, then he's not actually going to know if his opponent's going to be taking that gas right away and indeed going for some kind of tech play, but now delayed tech play. But see, by checking with this Overlord, he can now see, oh, he didn't take that gas right away. Now Violet knows he's not going for any kind of super fast tech play. Now he's actually going to be poking in here at the front with his first 4 Zerglings here. Zergling speed is on the way here for Violet. I don't think they're going to be able to get too much information, as there are 4 Marines here in position. A bunker going up as well. Factory now going down as well for Supernova. But seeing that bunker going down here for Supernova, or yeah, seeing Supernova's bunker go down here pretty quick is going to tell Violet that his opponent is being fairly defensive here, and as we can see, he's now producing lots and lots more drones to be able to account for that. Now, interestingly enough, he's not taking any more gas geysers, still just harvesting on 1 gas geyser, just now putting guys back into gas. Ling speed is about to be finishing up, and there's now a Roach Warren on the way here for Violet, just now taking a second gas geyser here. So Violet's kind of he's kind of progressing his tech a little bit slower here. He's not trying to go for any kind of super fast tech. This is going to give him a lot of minerals to get up lots and lots of drones here. No layer tech is yet on the way here for Violet, as he is focusing strictly on getting up lots and lots of drones. Going to have to see how he's going to be playing this out. Is he going to be going for those fast infestors one more time, or will he be committing fairly heavily to roaches? Looks like SuperNova does have a reactor on this factory, and he's now double producing Hellions here, so he's going to start to get a few Hellions to apply some pressure to his opponent's base. Violet does see them though with these Lings, and looks like he's going to get a bit of free damage off on these Hellions before he loses a few of those Lings. The other one is going to run down, maybe try to get into the natural expansion, see if he can't see anything at all, but no, SuperNova going to deny that scout completely, and now that 2 more Hellions have joined, he is now going to be moving straight to his opponent's base. 2 more Hellions are still on the way here for SuperNova. We do see a starport is now up as well. No cloak being researched, but we do see a Banshee on the way here for SuperNova. Now, Baneling Nest coming down here for Violet, but there's a good number of roaches out on the field right now. Like that move by Violet, trying to use those Lings to catch those Hellions off guard, because a lot of times Terran players will just move their Hellions somewhere to the edge of creep and won't actually have them on an attack move command until later on, once they want to actually try to go up into the base. So sometimes you can actually catch those Hellions off guard and get a good surround on them, but as we can see, Violet going to be denying that, and looks like he's actually going to be doing a bit of a run by here as SuperNova tries to take a quick third. These Lings are going to get in there and stop that from going down, and lots of roaches and Lings are now streaming across the map here for Violet. It looks like Violet's actually going to look to try to do some damage here. He has destroyed the SCV that was building that command center, so he might actually deny this third from going down, but there is 1 Banshee out on the field already. I do think, yeah, there's a second one on the way here. Now, this Banshee is going to be able to take out these forces, but how fast will they be able to do so? These forces are going to try to break the front of SuperNova's base, but it looks like these Hellions here are going to stop those Lings from getting in anyway, and now these Roach is trying to get to work on those Hellions, but they are just so fast, doing such a good job of kiting all of those Lings, making sure all those Lings do not die, but more and more are being rallied in here for Violet, as he is now deciding that this attack is not going to kill his opponent, taking his 3rd and 4th gas geysers. Behind this, we do even see Lair Tech now coming up here for Violet, but he is now going to move in with some Lings here and start to focus down this command center. Will he deny that command center? If he gets that command center, this is going to be a huge move for Violet, as SuperNova will have planned out a very nice build to get up to this quick third here as he applies pressure, but as we can see, no cancel goes down for SuperNova as Violet pretty much gets that command center for free, only losing a few Lings. SuperNova was just a little too preoccupied with these Hellions, trying to micro them against these Roaches, and now the command center having to be thrown down again. 400 resources lost for SuperNova. That is going to be a huge loss, and that is going to be a huge deal for SuperNova to have to come back from now, as he lost quite a bit of resources. Now, Violet's got to be feeling like he's in a pretty good position right now. Yes, we do now see that he is going to be expanding to his own third now that he has denied his opponents, and now I kind of think he might be pushing just a little bit too hard as he's moving across the field here with these Roaches, trying to go back in and deal some damage here. Ling's joining the fray as well. Looks like he is going to be able to pick off those Hellions, and will he get another cancel on this command center? I kind of doubt it. 2 Banshees are out on the field, but the brilliant thing about this pressure is that it came just as these Banshees moved out, meaning that these Banshees never ever had any time to go up to the main of Violet. So Violet so far has been absolutely safe in getting up his own tech, getting up his own drones. We can see his third is now on the way. Lair Tech is now on the way. Spore Crawler's just now going down only after the pressure has finished, and now he could be worried about Cloak Banshees coming into his base. And look at this, he's even now moving all of his Queens down into this lower position because he knows those Banshees could come and try to deny his third. He doesn't even know for sure that they're coming, but he knows that there's a possibility that he could deny the third, and now with these 3 Queens, he's going to be able to force those Banshees away, and now it looks like the third is going to get up here for Violet. So excellent play here by Violet so far, fairly even. Violet is down in the food count because he did sacrifice a lot of units early to go for that early pressure, but I think that pressure was more than worth it considering he denied this third for so long, so much longer than SuperNova would have wanted, and SuperNova is now going to be in a little bit of a spot where he has to now figure out what exactly it is that he wants to do now that he has his third command center so delayed. Spire is now up here for Violet. We see 5 Mutalisks on the way. Banelings are on the way as well. We do see +1 Flyer Carapace coming down for Violet, as well as +1 ground carapace, and oh, Supernova focusing down this spawning pool. He might actually be able to get that spawning pool. First Mutalisk is now out on the field, gonna start to focus down those Banshees. Nice transfuse going down on that spawning pool, managing to keep it alive, but now with these 5 Mutalisks out on the field, they are going to be able to pick off those Banshees, and those are going to be a nice little pick off there, as these Banshees really didn't get to do a whole lot of damage. Holy cow, they have a ton of kills from when they were defending, but they weren't really able to do that much damage in the main of Violet. So Violet still has a pretty good number of workers up right now. Looks like he is now up to 69 harvesters to the 70 of Supernova. So 70 Supernova is pretty even right now. We do see lots of missile turrets now going down here for Supernova as he's getting prepared for those Mutalisks that are now going to be coming across the field. Going to be expecting them very shortly here. We do now see +1 attack, and holy cow, lots and lots of Mutalisks now being produced by Violet, as he now starts to take his 4th, and this is actually very good thinking. A lot of players might look at this and say, well, he just took his 3rd. Isn't this 4th like really, really early? Well, you gotta consider the timing of these Mutalisks. These Mutalisks came out, and now that they're out on the field right now, Supernova really is in no position to attack, because if he decides to move out with all of his Marines, well, these Mutalisks are just going to move right into his base, start to deal lots and lots of damage, and oh, Violet needs to be very careful with those Marines on the low ground and those turrets on the high ground. He could start to lose these Mutalisk numbers very fast. These Mutalisks are very, very valuable to him at this point in time. If he loses a lot of these Mutalisks, he then loses map control, and then this 4th becomes really, really dangerous, really, really exposed. If these Mutalisks were to die, Supernova would almost guaranteed move straight to here to try to deny the space from going down. Now this Banshee is now moving back out across the field. It is going to be able to scout this 4th, might even force a cancel on it, as he is now moving towards that direction. In the meantime, Violet now moving in with a lot of Lings and Mutas, gonna try to go in and deal some damage to the 3rd here, but this 3rd is a planetary fortress here, as Supernova playing very safe, and Supernova moving out to the middle of the map. Meantime, Violet going for a big counterattack, managing to get a siege tank for free, but now being forced to pull back as all of these Marines have now arrived. Tried to send a small group of Lings here into the 3rd to try to deal some damage here, but planetary fortresses are real good. Now this Banshee is continuing to deal a lot of damage here. Mutalisk did pull back in time though to be able to clean up that Banshee. Now we do see an evolution chamber is now up, finishing up researching that +1 melee attacks. Baneling speed is now complete as well. No more upgrades have come down for Violet on his Mutalisk quite yet. Still only sitting at +1, and oh no, Supernova moving into this 3rd, or this 4th rather, and he is going to get a deny on that 4th base. But it looks like Violet just going to be going for a big counterattack here, as he has so many Banelings that are now going to be rolling in here. These Marines are going to go down so fast, and Violet now focusing down the barracks with those Banelings, going to be taking everything out so easily, leaving a small group here burrowed, so in case these Marines come back, he's going to be able to deal with them quite easily as the Mutalisks continue to move in. Banelings getting so many worker kills. We are going to watch that again, because that is going to be too satisfying to watch, as all those Banelings are going to come in here and deal so much damage. Let's check out that workers killed count, as that workers killed count climbs up to 28 workers, as Violet is now in the main dealing lots and lots of damage. Supernova trying to do a drop into the back, or into the back of Violet's main here. Huge drop now coming down as siege tanks are now in the main. Violet pulling back lots of Lings to be able to deal with this. Looks like his Mutalisks are now going to be pulling back, feeling content that he did a lot of damage, as the natural command center did go down here and a lot of damage has been dealt. Now going to be pulling back with all those Mutas, and these siege tanks are completely exposed right now as these Marines go in, focus down the extractor, and they're now focusing down that lair. If that lair goes down, that could be huge, but all the Lings move in right before it goes down. Mutalisks flanking from the back, going to be cleaning everything up quite easily, and now Violet is in an absolutely fantastic position right now. He's done so much economic damage. If we check out the harvester count, he is now up 65 harvesters to 55, doing an absolutely fantastic job of staying in this game. No doubt going to be trying to expand again. There we go. The expansion now going down here for Violet, as he continues to now produce lots and lots of Lings and Mutalisks, as he is now set to go for a huge counterattack. Now, Supernova moving out, scanning ahead of his army. Brilliant moving here by Supernova, but he really needs to deal some more damage, as he just lost a whole lot of units here, but there's a lot of Lings and Banelings here as they start to move in. These siege tanks have sieged up, though Violet does not want to engage here, but these Mutalisk numbers are getting super, super high here for Violet, as he now has 24 Mutalisks out on the field, going to be going for a bit of a counterattack. These Mutalisks are currently 0-1 in upgrades, and he is going for the big counterattack. There is not a whole lot here. There are still burrowed Banelings here, though, that might come in handy here as all these Marines are now pulling back here. Will Violet detonate the burrowed banelings? Will these Marines walk over them? And it looks like no. Violet is trying to bait his opponent to get onto him, and oh, there it goes. Giant, massive number of Marines lost to those burrowed banelings from the early game, and now Violet crushing through all the rest of these siege tanks. Marines quickly trying to be rallied in, but will they be enough? There just aren't that many Marines out on the field. There are a lot of medevacs, however, and lots more lings now streaming across the map here for Violet as all the siege tanks are going down before they can even get a shot off, and Violet now moving up into the main of Supernova, who's now pulling all of his SCVs off the line. Banelings now in the mix, as they are going to cause all of those supply depots to go down. They are now connecting with SCVs. So many workers killed now, up to 50 workers killed, and Supernova is going to GG out of Game 2 after an unbelievably played game here by Violet. Absolutely incredibly aggressive, slowly paced game. Really, really liking this style from Violet. That means Violet is now up 2-0 in the finals match of Supernova versus Violet from Sao Paulo. Unbelievable. We are now going to be jumping into Game 3, which, if Violet wins, he is just going to be taking the entire series. So stick with me, guys. Game 3 of Violet versus Supernova coming up in just a moment.